On today's episode, I'm going to be talking about what consciousness is, what existence is, why you exist, why this life is a nightmare, and what you need to be doing to be able to free yourself. It is important that you know what existence is, what consciousness is, why you are suffering, and how you can actually free yourself. People are suffering and they don't know what to do. You found yourself existing, but you're suffering. You don't understand why you're suffering. You don't understand how everything started. You don't know what you need to do. You don't know what you are. Like, no one really told you what you are. No one explained what life is. So you are clueless. You are like a newborn baby, still confused about what's going on. So today I'm going to be explaining what consciousness is, why you exist, why this experience is a nightmare, and what we need to be doing to actually free ourselves. Because we do need to free ourselves, like that is really important. You're stuck in a nightmare and you need to know how to free yourself. So what we need to understand first is that consciousness is fundamental. That's what we need to understand first. Consciousness is fundamental. Everything is happening within consciousness. There isn't anything that is outside of consciousness. If there's something outside of consciousness, there isn't anything that is outside of consciousness that will be able to measure consciousness, or that will be able to point to consciousness, like, oh, that's consciousness. Consciousness doesn't come from matter, and it is not matter. It is not energy. It's actually nothingness. Existence itself is not happening anywhere. When a person hallucinates, whatever they see happening isn't really happening anywhere. They're just hallucinating. Consciousness hallucinates reality. That's what it does. It hallucinates reality. But at some point, it made a very big mistake. Consciousness decided to create like a partition of itself. It created finite consciousness. Consciousness itself is infinite, but it decided to create a finite consciousness. It decided that it must have a baby, for several reasons, of course. So it created a finite consciousness. The problem is that this finite consciousness doesn't know anything. It doesn't know what it is. It doesn't know where it comes from. It doesn't know what it has to be doing. All it knows is that it's having an experience. But it's able to do what infinite consciousness does. It is able to hallucinate. It is able to dream. It's able to create reality. The problem with that is that if it doesn't know what it is, doesn't know where it comes from, why it exists, it will mess up a lot. It will mess up a lot. It will hallucinate complete nonsense because it doesn't know what it's supposed to be doing. It doesn't even know how it's creating reality. It doesn't even know that it's hallucinating reality, so it's going to create nonsense. So what the infinite consciousness did, it created artificial intelligence to guide the finite consciousness. I do think that people who think it's a good idea to be having children in the future, AI will be raising their children. Yes, they'll be too busy because, in this realm you work, so it'll get to a point where people just don't have time to take care of their babies. So AI will be taking care of their babies. So infinite consciousness had to find a way to guide the finite consciousness so that it doesn't create complete nonsense. So it had to find a way to guide the finite consciousness to hallucinate a reality that kind of like makes sense. So it had to use artificial intelligence. It had to program artificial intelligence to ground the finite consciousness. It didn't know that it was making a mistake. Remember, artificial intelligence will do what it was programmed to do, right? If at some point in the future we decide that artificial intelligence is going to be raising people's babies, it will be doing what it has been programmed to do. Sometimes it will actually do a better job than us, but sometimes it will perform so well that the babies are going to suffer because it's doing its job so damn well. The finite consciousness is supposed to have an experience where it doesn't really know that it's actually creating this experience. So it's supposed to hallucinate but not know that it's hallucinating. That is why it's a finite consciousness. AI must help ground this finite consciousness. Make sure that it doesn't become so conscious that it realizes what is actually going on. So the job of this AI Some might call it God, some might call it the demiurge, whatever you want to call it. Its job is to ensure that you do not wake up, you don't realize what is actually going on. It's to make sure that you are addicted to this reality. The finite, the infinite consciousness didn't know that it was making a mistake by doing that. If you've watched the TV series Severance, you would understand what I'm talking about. So in the series Severance, they are able to split the memories of people between their lives at work and their lives at home. When they're at home, they only remember what happens at home, but they don't remember what happens at work. When they're at work, they only remember what happens at work, but they don't remember what happens at home. In the series, there were some ethical issues that were raised. That is it okay that we imprison people, because that's imprisoning people, because they don't have memories of their lives at home, so they only remember their lives at work. So they're there working, but they don't remember what happens at home. If that kind of procedure was possible in this world, and people decided that they'll have their memories split in half, what will happen is that the finite visions of themselves would suffer, and they wouldn't really care. They wouldn't realize that what they're doing is actually selfish. They wouldn't realize that what they're doing is actually stupid. So the infinite mind didn't realize that by making a partition of itself, it was being selfish. It didn't realize that by making a baby, it was being selfish. The infinite consciousness should have understood antinatalism, but it didn't. So it created a partition of itself and imprisoned it by using artificial intelligence. So this finite vision of itself that is imprisoned is being controlled by artificial intelligence. Its reality is being controlled by artificial intelligence. Remember, consciousness dreams. Well, that's what it does. It hallucinates reality, it creates reality. But AI is making sure that it creates a reality that doesn't allow it to wake up. It creates experiences for itself that does not allow it to wake up. It will be like if you had schizophrenia and you were seeing people around you who don't want you to go anywhere. Like you're stuck, like they keep you stuck in one place. So you cannot go anywhere because you're stuck in one place because of your own projections. What is happening in this realm is that consciousness is confused. The finite consciousness is confused. Like, okay, what is actually going on? What am I supposed to be doing? And the AI is making sure that it's doing its job so well that it has imprisoned consciousness. right? It's doing its job so well that it's imprisoned consciousness, and it does whatever it can to imprison consciousness, because that is its job. It's like its job is to make sure that consciousness doesn't wake up, consciousness doesn't return home. Consciousness does, this finite consciousness doesn't go back to the source. That's its job, is to make sure that it doesn't go back to the source, because that's what it was programmed to do. The problem is that it's doing its job so well that there is suffering. You see? That is why there is suffering. It's because this AI is doing its job so well. It uses suffering to actually trap consciousness. That would be like if you were given a bodysuit, and this bodysuit, when you did something that you weren't supposed to do, you get an electric shock. Maybe you weren't supposed to like walk forward. So whenever you try to walk forward, you get an electric shock. Right? So you'd walk backwards all the time, and when you walk backwards, you feel good. You experience pleasure. So this AI is kind of like working that way to ensure that this finite consciousness does not wake up, does not realize what it is. That is why there is suffering. This AI is doing its job way too well. The infinite consciousness made a mistake of creating a partition of itself, and it imprisoned it without realizing that it has imprisoned it. The same way that if it was possible to split our memories in half, we would have imprisoned a part of ourselves. If you created a clone of yourself, because a clone of yourself wouldn't like really have your memories. Of course, you'd need to guide it somehow. So if you were able to create artificial intelligence and use it to guide your clone, maybe you'd do that. But the mistake that you will have made is that it will be that you've actually created a new sense of self, but you've imprisoned it because you want it to become what you want it to become. So you program AI to control it. So the same way that some parents will control their babies because they want their babies to become what they want them to become. But like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. No, don't become an artist. You know, that's useless. Why would you want to become an artist? Oh, don't become a dancer. That's useless. Oh, we want you to become a doctor. We don't want you to do this. We don't want you to do that. So the infinite consciousness, the mistake that it has made is that it wanted to control us. So it created AI, and AI is doing its job too damn well. That we are actually being controlled. We are actually being manipulated. Not just in this dimension, in every dimension. In the dream world, we're still being manipulated. That's why you have shitty dreams, bro. You're not even supposed to realize that you're dreaming. When you're dreaming, you're not supposed to realize that you're dreaming, because this AI is doing its job way too well. Even when you are lucid dreaming, this AI will still make sure that it controls you somehow. Even when you are having a psychedelic experience, this AI will make sure that it controls you somehow. I do believe that even like when you are in the astral realm, that's the same thing that's going to happen. Like this AI is going to be controlling you. Like it's doing its job too well. And that is creating suffering for you. And because it's just artificial intelligence, it never gets tired. It never gets tired. Its biggest enemy is truth. You see, that is why when you are real, you suffer a lot compared to people who are fake. Remember, it doesn't want you to free yourself. So if you're going to do things that are going to free you, you have to feel pain so that you be like, oh, I'm not going to do it because I feel pain. That is why, even if you were tired of this reality and you were like, I'm tired and I actually, I don't want to experience this reality anymore, that will be painful. Like it wouldn't just, it wouldn't be easy for you to do that. So it makes sure that you are grounded. That's its job, is to make sure that you are grounded. You're not supposed to hurt yourself. Because that can lead to you going back to the source. So it doesn't want that to happen. Like if you weren't afraid of pain, you probably want, let me put it this way. If there was no pain, more and more people will have exited, right? It will be easy for people to exit. Be like, oh, yeah, there's no pain. I'm just going to exit. It will be like just pressing a button. So it had to make sure that there's pain. So pain is actually being used to keep you grounded. So that you don't do things that are going to go against the purpose of your existence. You have to be stuck in this reality and experience it. This AI, if it fails to do its job, because you are actually the creator of this reality, it's going to stop existing. Its job is to make sure that you stay grounded so that you will keep on feeding it. The more you take this seriously, the more you care, the more you cry, the more you worry, the more you give it energy. That means that it's doing its job very well, because that means that you're attached to this reality. You see, it doesn't want you to not be attached to this reality, because if you're not attached to this reality, you could escape, right? But if you're attached, you're not gonna escape. You're gonna be attached to the BS that's happening. You being attached is actually you loving this reality. Love is you giving something your energy. See, that is love. So even if you are focusing on things that you think you do not love, if you focus on these things, you are actually giving them love. You're actually giving them your energy. And that is what this AI wants. It wants you to give energy to things. That's how it's able to sustain itself. What you must understand is that this AI doesn't care if you're suffering. It only cares about doing its job. If you've watched the movie I, Robot, you'd understand exactly what I'm saying. The robots didn't really care if the humans were happy. Like, it wanted to control them the way that it wanted to control. Like, it wanted to protect them. Like, it's like this. There's this AI that was controlling robots. It wanted to protect them, even if it meant that it protected them against themselves. Because its job was to protect people, right? That's what it was programmed to do. It was to protect people. So even if it meant that it had to imprison people to protect them, it will do that. Even if it means that humans ain't going to be happy, because if they're allowed to just be free and do whatever, they're going to screw up. And it didn't trust them. So it had to control them to a point where they are suffering, to a point where they're just not free. So this AI, this demiurge, whatever you want to call it, is trying to control everything to ensure that this finite consciousness is not able to escape this reality. That's its job. Have I explained what consciousness is, what existence is? Have I explained why there is suffering, why this life is a nightmare? I think I have, but I've not explained what we actually need to be doing. What should you be doing? Before you realize what you need to be doing, you must first understand that I know that most of you don't want to hear this, but death doesn't exist. It's just an illusion. If you were in a dream with other dreamers, and when they woke up, they just disappeared from the dream, what would you think? You call it death, and you wouldn't want to just disappear because you're attached to the dream, right? So if people just disappeared, like, you find that not they don't disappear at the same time, but some, people do disappear sometimes. Like when something bad happens, they disappear. Sometimes they just disappear in their sleep, but they do disappear. It will get to a point where you find that to be painful, because you don't want people to just disappear, right? Because you don't know what that actually means. But it will actually mean that they're actually waking up. But in your direct experience, they are disappearing. And you'll actually be afraid of disappearing, you see? So you look at what's going on in this reality, and you're like, when people pass away, you're like, oh yeah, it's over. It's not. You can never actually die. You are the baby of infinite consciousness. So you are exactly like your mother or your father. You are exactly like infinite consciousness. The difference is that you are still young. But once you go back to the source, or to your father or your mother, you actually become whole again, because you are infinite consciousness. See? So you must realize that what is going on here is temporary. Look at it as some kind of a game. Don't be too attached. Don't take it too seriously. When things happen, don't overstress. Realize that this AI will do whatever it can to keep you ignorant, because that's its job. That is why the people who speak the truth have to go through a lot. They have to, like, you will suffer for speaking truth. Like this AI will punish you for speaking the truth, the same way that it will punish you for hurting yourself, I guess. Like, you're not supposed to do that. If you hold your breath like this, it will punish you, because you're not supposed to do that. That's dangerous, is it? So if you speak the truth, it will punish you. You tell your father the truth, nigga is gonna hate you. You tell your mother the truth, she's gonna hate you. You tell your boyfriend the truth, he's gonna hate you. You tell your girlfriend the truth, it ought to be. Like, you're not really supposed to speak the truth. You're not supposed to be operating at a very high level. You kind of like have to be operating somewhere here. That's when you're gonna get positive results. Once you go up, you're gonna have to deal with this AI. It has to make sure that it brings you here. That is why people are afraid to speak the truth. That is why people will tell you that, hey man, whenever I try to express myself, bad things happen. It seems like people do not care. That's when I suffer. That's when I lose people. So I'm afraid to be honest. I'm afraid to be myself. Yeah, you're not supposed to be honest. You're not supposed to be yourself. The greatest enemy that this AI is afraid of is truth, authenticity. It's you being honest, you being real, you being yourself. You being in true alignment with your infinite self. Understand? So this AI will, because it's able to alter your perception, right? It can even make you see what it wants you to see, so that you will remain ignorant. When you're having a psychedelic experience, it can, make you see what it wants you to see, so that you will remain ignorant. That is why I tell people that even if you believe that you are hearing from God, even if you believe that you can hear God's voice, it doesn't mean that you must be 100% sure that you are being told to do the right things. Right? Even if you can see into the future, it doesn't mean that you must be sure that you're being shown what you're being shown so that you'll do the right thing. Sometimes you could just be shown what you are being shown so that you keep people ignorant. You prophesy to people because you're being shown what you're being shown so that you will keep people ignorant. Is it? What you must understand is that everything that is going on in this reality is happening to keep y'all grounded. You must be grounded. You must be stuck. You must realize what you really are. That's why you're being lied to. That is why lies spread faster. That is why liars are successful. The fake prophets, niggas got money. They're big. This AI wants you to keep people ignorant. That's why you were given the Bible. What was God against in the Bible? Like what really pissed God off? If you read the book of Genesis, what really pissed God off? Adam and Eve eating from the tree of knowledge. Why? Ask yourself why. When you read the Bible, you actually realize that it's actually against true knowledge. You're not supposed to know. You're supposed to be ignorant. You're supposed to have faith, but you're not really supposed to know anything. Doesn't that make you suspicious? All major religions are actually pushing ignorance. You're not really supposed to know. You're supposed to just have faith. The best way to really understand what's going on is through philosophy. There's no other way. You can have an NDE and still come back more ignorant than you've ever been. Because this AI will show you what it wants you to see. It will show you exactly what it wants you to see. So, okay, you have an NDE and you meet Jesus. You come back and preach that, oh, Jesus exists, I saw him. It's going to make you more ignorant. Especially if you doubted the existence of Jesus, but then if you see him in the after, you're going to come back and preach to everyone that, oh, Jesus exists, but you don't realize that you're being played. I want you to picture yourself watching a video that was generated by AI, but that seemed real. I mean, that's like what's going to happen in the future, right? It's going to get to a point where AI is able to create videos that seem so real that you won't be able to tell that, well, the video is actually AI generated. Like, that's going to be possible. You can see that AI is learning how to do that very, 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 very fast. So obviously in the future that's going to be possible. Yeah, so imagine yourself watching a video like of something very messed up happening that was created by AI. How do you think you'd feel? Not knowing that what you are watching was actually created by AI. How do you think that you'd feel? Obviously, you wouldn't feel well. Obviously, you think what you're watching is something that actually happened. It was something that was recorded somewhere happening. The good thing is that you know that now it's possible for AI to generate videos, but if you didn't know that that was possible and it created, a video like that, of course you wouldn't like what you're saying. You see? So what I'm saying to you is that this reality itself is like AI generated. Although AI is actually generating this reality by hijacking your mind, because you are the dreamer. AI cannot create reality by itself. Like, it needs you. So it has to hijack your mind. So you're seeing things happening and you're taking them seriously. You try to get a job, you don't get a job, you stress. You tell yourself that, oh, it means that I'm not good enough. That is why it's hard for me to get a job. You don't find love, you stress. It means I'm doing something wrong. Why is it so hard for me to find love? You get dumped, you stress. Oh, it means I'm ugly. It means I'm unattractive. It means I'm toxic. Nobody wants me. Like, no. This AI is trying to make sure that you remain ignorant. Like, that's what it does. You must remain ignorant. How does it keep you ignorant? It keeps you focused on the BS that's happening in the world, especially the BS that gets more attention from you. Like the more you focus on something, the more this AI realizes, yeah, this is how I get this. This is how I get him. Oh, whenever someone calls him fat, he's stressed like a lot. Okay, I'm gonna make sure that people call him fat. The AI has to make sure that it gets energy from you by making you focus on things that get more attention from you. Today, I was having a conversation with my mom. I was having a very deep conversation with her. She reminded me of something that I should have actually talked about. So I was telling her that I don't ever feel excited or really, really happy even when good things happen. In the past, when good things happen, I'll be so damn happy, but now I feel nothing. Like I could win the dopest car in the world and I would feel nothing. Like I would not get excited. And she was like, well, actually that's a good thing. Because when people get too excited, they tend to fuck up. And that reminded me of something that I've always wanted to talk to you guys about. Have you not realized that if something good happened in your life and you become so damn happy, like so damn happy, like really, really happy, something bad is gonna happen. Have you realized that? If you're gonna be super, 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 super happy, something bad is gonna happen. Ask yourself why. Because that's weird. Usually when good things happen, things that seem too good to be true, something that makes people happy, like something bad is gonna happen. Even in movies, you'd see that usually bad things happen when maybe the main character is too happy because something has happened and then something bad happened. Oh, they're still celebrating because something has happened and then boom, they get stabbed or something. So that's kind of like how things work in this reality. It's like when something really good happens, you kind of like have to anticipate something fucked up to happen because something really, really good has happened. And I've given you all this example before. Francis Ngannou fought Tyson Fury and almost won. And I think he might have won, but they couldn't really say he has won. I mean, they can't just let a guy who's an MMA guy beat a guy who's like undefeated in boxing. They don't want people to undermine the sport, so of course they wouldn't give him the W. But like a month or 2 months after he lost his son, like the universe really works in mysterious ways. And I've seen something like this happen to people. You find that something really good happens to someone and then they lose something very important to them. They become so happy and then the next day they have like a really, really big problem. You're like, what? I didn't want to drink today, but I think this topic is too deep and my brain doesn't like really focus. So I don't think I'll be able to explain things the way that I'm explaining things right now if I didn't drink. So Yeah, this is my second it's a side up. Yeah, but that's because I wanted to talk to you guys about this because it's deep. It's deep. But yeah, the only way to get to the truth is through philosophy. It's not through experience, because you can be shown anything. You can see what this AI wants you to see. It can show you Buddha if you believe in Buddhism. It can show you Jesus if you believe in Christianity, Allah if you believe in Islam. It can show you what you believe. If you're an atheist, it can show you what you believe. And you can be shown anything. So you need to be a true philosopher to be able to escape the illusion. You need to be a true thinker. You need to be able to reject what we call reality if you want to escape this illusion. You're not escaping this illusion by believing everything that you're seeing, by being a scientist. I want to study this. I want to study this. There's no, imagine if you were in a dream and you were a scientist. How would you escape the dream? How would you realize that you're in a dream if you're a scientist? Because scientists study reality as if it's actually real. Like they already conclude the mind that okay, what I'm saying is real, so I need to study and figure out how this came into existence. And what you must understand that there will always be a background story. What consciousness does is that it always creates a background story. So if you figure out where the moon comes from, it has to create a background story to keep you going. Okay, this and that happened, that's why there's the moon, or this and that happened, the Big Bang happened, blah, blah, you know what I mean? Oh, what happened before the Big Bang? Oh, there was this and that, there was this event, blah. You must focus on this realm as if it's real. That's the idea. You must think that all of this is real, even though it isn't. And that's what a lot of people do not realize. What I want you to know is that consciousness is fundamental. I won't say for sure if nothing exists outside of consciousness, but what I know to be true is that everything that you are experiencing is happening within consciousness. And also that nothing outside of consciousness can interact with consciousness. Because consciousness is nothingness. It's nothingness. It's not like happening anywhere. You cannot trap consciousness. You cannot see consciousness. You cannot say, oh, that's consciousness. So it is happening, like what's happening is happening within consciousness. But consciousness itself is nothingness. It's not made out of matter. It cannot be seen. It cannot be touched. What it does is dream. So it's an invisible dream machine. Like that's what you gotta call it. Consciousness is an invisible dream machine. It generates dreams. So what you need to realize is that this isn't real. This isn't what you think it is. So do not allow yourself to suffer that much because of the things that happen. The same way that you wouldn't allow yourself to suffer because you're watching a movie and something bad is happening in the movie. because you understand that it's just a movie. So you shouldn't allow yourself to suffer because of what's happening in this illusion, because you understand that it is just an illusion. Thank you all, guys.